All right, everyone, we're going to go ahead and get started. So this session I've presented a version of it at AFGC, so the American Grassland version of this meeting 2 years ago, and Byron Slew asked me to submit a thematic session for this meeting. What this is going to focus on is, as much as we can fit in the next hour and a half or so, on social media and our digital resources that we are all using specifically here within UGA Extension. But we'll talk about National Forage Week as well. So before we get started, I wanted to define kind of what is extension, because that's not a global term. So for us at Georgia, for more than a century, we have provided what we say is research and education through our network of specialists, agents, and volunteers, helping Georgians learn, grow, and do more. So you can almost call us like a public consultant, or a free consultant, however you want to think of that. So we're paid for by the state, and we provide unbiased recommendations. And traditionally, that was done through written communication, face-to-face visits, just like typical farming was done. That's starting to change after COVID, and the need for this type of technology and use in our extension programs has been on the rise. Our motto within UGA is that we translate the science of everyday living for farmers, families, and communities to foster a healthy and prosperous Georgia. So we make these big recommendations throughout as researchers, and then it's the job of extension specialists, and we have an extension agent speaking in one of the sessions here, to break that down so that our clientele, in this room here, our clientele would be our farmers or producers, so that they can understand and get the most benefit from that information. So our first presentation is on the digital resources and forage education. So everything not social media, because we're going to switch to that specifically in just a moment. So our forage systems, that formatting is terrible up there. We have a lot of challenges in our forage systems. If you was in my talk this morning, we talked more agronomically, specific to Bermuda grass, but this one, just overall, we know that our forage livestock systems are constantly changing. It never rains when you want it to rain. We have drought at the worst times. We have, temperatures are changing. Things are always in a state of flux, and so it makes it hard to provide one recommendation that's applicable for the next 364 days. It always has to change. As much as I would like to say, no 2 years are ever the same. I've been in my role for 4 years, and we've had every weather possibility you could imagine. And so what I recommend one year is no longer applicable the next year. And I think that's going to just keep happening. We know that the changing climatic conditions have definitely worsened some of the volatility